Good afternoon. It's Friday, and this is the Hostos Student Leadership Academy workshop series. We're glad you can make it. It's getting warmer outside. Things are getting better. Pandemic seems to be on its way out of here. But we're excited to be able to come together again Friday afternoon and talk about some exciting leadership skills. This week we have an incredible presenter who's going to look at things from maybe a different way than we've looked at things from before, but has a unique perspective and is a great motivator of people. He actually is kind of related to one of our other speakers who's actually here on the call too. He's the husband of Namibia Donadio, who spoke with us earlier this year. And his name is Maxx Rivera. And the workshop today has the title Biolegacy and the Story of Our Elements, Excavating, Culture, Rediscovering Humanity, and Recalibrating the Quarantine Experience. There's a lot. It's a mouthful for me. But Max is going to take you through this journey. I hope you really enjoy it. And so let's give him a virtual round of applause and a welcome. Welcome, Max.
Peace, everyone. Good afternoon. To some, good morning. Those parts of the world, not sure if everybody's here. And in the language of my ancestors, we would say Taigwe ituna, Taigwe natayo, Daka Guasabara, Iukayeke, Kasi Bahagua. Taino Daka, which is Taino and Arawak for greetings to all the sisters and all the brothers that are present. My American name is Max. My name that is given to me or bestowed upon me upon completions of my rites of passage and to our people in the greater Antilles is Guasabara. So if that's too difficult to pronounce, you can use Max, or if you're feeling courageous, Guasabara works as well. So allow me to pull some things up for us before we get started. But I wanted to introduce myself and more importantly, introduce a little bit about the things that we're going to be talking about today. And okay, just getting this Zoom calibrated. Yes, I have everybody there and you guys are here. Yes, okay. So the biolegacy and the story of our elements is really a hope for an approach to analyzing, identifying, calibrating, and maybe renegotiating what the quarantine experience is like. Now, how this workshop is going to go on will inform the who is the person talking to you guys right now. So just to give you guys a little bit about who I am, amongst other things, I am also a university professor with the City University of New York. I teach at Borough Manhattan Community College. At BMCC, I teach student researchers with some science research. Right now, we're doing cancer cell lines on natural products, things like black teas and orange peels on liver cancer cell lines. And that's like my after work hours. During work hours, I am a professor in the health education department where I teach comprehensive nutrition or nutrition for health. So I get everything from people who want to be nurses to people who want to be doctors, people who want to be PAs, radiology techs, EMTs, second career students. And really what is beautiful is that in a small room, or rather in a massive digital realm that we are in right now, we have an opportunity to excavate together. And parts of that is sometimes going into our closets and our kitchen cabinets and saying, what's in there? And other times it's looking into the mirror and saying, hey, are you okay today? Or, wow, Max, you're not looking so good. Is everything okay? And really, the teaching hat that I wear is a vehicle for my own learning as well. It's like the saying, when you have forgotten how to be a student, you are no longer a teacher. Um, and so my teaching is informed by an amalgamation, right? A composite, a mosaic of interdisciplinary skill sets. I do some work with the United Nations, with or under the leadership of our chief, our cacique in our culture, known as Mucaro Borrero, as well as performing and doing some crafts things. But really, what I'd like to open with, besides informing you guys on who I am and what are some things that I do, that we do a pulse check, which is something that we do in every one of my classes, where we answer 3 questions. And I'm going to put them here in the chat box. Yes, I see. Good afternoon from Janelli. Good afternoon, Janelli. Good afternoon from Norma. Hello, Norma. We have Mohammed Bey. I'm on the train. You may lose signal. Well, I hope that when the signal comes back, we can have you here with us. Charles, good afternoon to you as well. Norma, yes, you are here. Thank you. Good afternoon. Hi, Junior. Okay, so the post check questions. Got it. Okay, so the 3 post-track questions. Please introduce yourself with your name or whatever you'd like to be called. Describe yourself with an adjective. Second question, if you could create a geothermal room in your home, what would you do there? And how would you create space? And 3, name 1 achievement since quarantine. And since I put the questions in here, I'll have the courage of going first. If I could describe myself with 1 adjective right now, I would use prickling with excitement. I really like to get to know new people. And I just, yes, Alfonso, I think that person was, with an A, Andre. Okay, sorry, just making sure we get you guys in as well. As soon as I see it, I'm gonna press it. So I'm prickling with excitement. If I could create a geothermal room in my home, okay, Afren, welcome. If I could create a geothermal room in my home, what would I do there? I would create a geothermal room that I can grow my plants. Right now, I'm having some really big difficulties with my vegetables that have sprouted, but we have 70-degree weather, then we have 30-degree weather, and then it snows, and then it rains, and then it's really cold, and then the bears come and try to eat everything. So that's a little bit of what I'm going through. So that's what I would do. How would I create in the space? I would look for angles that can help conduct heat. So if I have light on one side, I'm gonna look to put like aluminum foil on the other and keep these plants alive. And what is one of my achievements since quarantine? I have graduated once again, not from graduate school, not from undergrad. I have graduated into the realm of father, as in the world of fatherhood. So I am joining in good company. Jason, Mr. Lipfield is here, also member of the very exclusive club. So I'm gonna hand off the microphone, and hopefully, as we'll continue, you guys can hand off the microphone to somebody who has not participated. So, excuse me, if you guys can, everybody put their digital hands up so we can have a good idea on who's gone and who has not gone. And if you guys don't know how to put your digital hands up, you go into the participant view, and then you can click raise hand. Nice. So Namibia's already done it. Junior has already done it. Isabel has already done it. We're gonna give everybody a couple of seconds to raise their hands. When we play our games in the workshop, you guys will also need to raise your hands, and I promise it's gonna get a lot of fun. You might even knock some things over. But so we got Michelle raising her hand. Okay, so we got 5 now. So please, if you guys can, continue to raise your hands if you have not gone. That's for Andre, Afnan, Pondi, Charles, Denise, Henry, Isabel, Janelli, Marliatu, Mohammed Bey, Norma, and Carlos. If I mispronounce your name, please correct me. So I'm gonna hand the mic over to Javor. Javor, I'm gonna hand the mic over to you, and I will repeat the questions for everyone. So if anybody is just logging in, you guys will have access to it as well. Brother Javor, you have the floor.
Okay, my name is Javor Ivanov. It's written down, but let me say it out there. One adjective: anxious, usually. And I want to build a spot with that geothermal energy because I hate the cold. I like sweating. And yeah, I will use it for my own benefit of detoxifying through sweat, which is probably a myth, but you never know. Yes. Was that it, right? The 3 questions.
That's great. That's great. Pass the mic. Pass the mic.
I will go with Namibia, Donadio.
Hi, everyone. I've got the baby here sleeping, so I'm going to lean in a little bit and say, hi, my name is Namibia. Happy to be here. I'm the proud wife of Guazabara Rivera, and I'm so excited to be able to be invited in here and take this with you. Thank you, Jason. I would describe myself as absorbent. I feel I'm in a stage in my life where I'm really taking everything in and applying it very quickly. If I could create a geothermal room, first I think I had to Google geothermal just to make sure that it is a climate control. I was thinking somewhere where I could grow tropical fruit, avocados, mangoes, things that normally wouldn't grow up here in the cold. And that's what I would do in that room. One achievement since quarantine, I was thinking that I feel like I've leveled up as a human adult and been able to become a mom. So I'm with you on that, Guasabara. Thank you. I pass the mic to Michelle Quintero.
Hello, everyone. So let me just look back at the questions to make sure I'm doing this right. Okay. Describe yourself with an adjective. If you could create a geothermal room in your home, what would you do there and how would you create the space and one achievement? Okay. So if I had a geothermal room, it would be 72 degrees exactly. There would be a pool that could be heated and cold depending on the weather outside. And I would have a projector hanging from the ceiling where I could watch all the black and white movies I need to watch before the end of my life so I can study. That's the actress side of me. And let me make sure. One achievement since quarantine. Learning how to be alone and being safe in being alone. I think that I'm working on it every day, but that's an achievement for me. And if I had to describe myself with one adjective, I am usually jubilant. I hope that works.
Works great. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Can you pass that microphone? Everybody who hasn't raised your hands yet, if you don't mind putting those digital hands up, and make it a little easier for the speakers. They're trying to pinpoint and look at cameras and figure out who hasn't gone yet. Carlos Diaz's hand is up. Michelle, would you like to pass Carlos that microphone? He's got the
Hey,
real
I
hand.
will pass it to Carlos. Yes.
Oh man, come on. That's too much. All this Broadway, what's happening? I was talking with the boss already this morning. Oh my goodness. Broadway back up in September. I could not stop laughing. I said, what? Hunter is finally opening again?
Carlos, are you there with us?
I hardly believe that.
Hey,
Who
Carlos.
can sing? Oh my God, what's going on? I can't even sing, man. I'm a little hoarse.
All right, brother, don't worry about it. So the 3 questions, we're gonna pass it to you. The first one is to describe yourself, how you're feeling with an adjective.
Oh wow. Oh wow. I will have to say extraordinary.
All right, nice. Second question, if you could create a geothermal room in your home, what would you do there? How would you create the space?
Oh my God, the space is so small.
You'd make a small space? Okay.
Yeah.
What would you do in that geothermal room? It's nice and warm. Whatever temperature you set is gonna stay.
Oh, it's good. Believe me, it's good. It's warm. It's not too bad.
All right.
Warm. It's not too bad. Can't complain about it.
Nice. And if you could name one thing that you've achieved in quarantine, what would that thing be?
Oh wow. Getting in contact with other people. Finally. That's the only thing.
Nice. Nice, Carlos. Carlos, if you could pass the microphone to somebody else here with us.
Oh, sure.
Any of the names. Look for one with the hand up. We've got Andre, Isabel, Lamb, Denise, Janelli.
Okay, that person's not here. They're raising hands. Nobody's okay.
Why don't we pass it to Isabella? Her hand is up.
Okay, hold on. I gotta see this.
All right, Isabella.
I see. Hi, Billy. How are you?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for this privilege. My name is Isabel Deira Sanchez. I am a mom. My adjective, I am a mom. I am a student. I am a volunteer in Hostos Community College and other organizations too, in schools, hospitals. Yeah. The another question is how I will become my room relax, peace, and also full of plants. I love plants. I have many plants here in my room too. I grow in this pandemic. I grow lettuce, cilantro, tomatoes with my kids. Yeah, that's so beautiful. Yeah, and one of my achievements through this pandemic is I will graduate this semester from Hostos Community College. Yeah, and I am very proud of my kids too. Yeah, thank you so much.
Oh,
I will
absolutely.
pass. Thank you. Thank you. Denise, what about Denise?
Denise? Denise wrote hers in the chat box. I'll read them for her, and then we'll pass it to the next person. I can't use the mic. Oh, no worries, Denise. We'll read it. Thank you for writing it. So the adjective that Denise wrote was inquisitive. And for her geothermal room, she picked a yoga room to relax. Hot yoga, Bikram. Achievement, she acquired her associates in biology and graduated. Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. Isabel, do you think we can ask for Andre next? Andre's hands are also up. Yeah?
Yes, of
All right, Andre, you got the
course.
floor.
Thank
Okay, hi. My name's Andre. I'm a Hostos alumni, and an adjective to describe myself, is that what I'm supposed to do?
Yes.
I'd say calm, and yeah, and I'm sorry, I just got here. I don't really know what to say.
Oh, it's okay. The second question was, if we could create a geothermal room in your house,
Yeah.
what would you do there, and how would you create the space?
I would probably wow. I would probably have I don't know, wow, I really have to think about that one. Probably something like a lounge slash area for friends, whoever comes over and stuff like that after COVID, you know.
Nice, nice. And the last question is, name one achievement
Yeah.
since quarantine.
One achievement I would hope to gain after quarantine is just expanding my network, I guess. Connecting with others.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You want to pass that microphone, Andre? Somebody else who hasn't spoken yet that would like to speak. Again, you guys don't have to speak if you feel like you need more time to warm up. It's okay.
I don't see any hands raised.
So far, the ones that we have had that have participated is Michelle, Yarov, Namibia, Carlos, and Isabel. So anyone other than that, we can try one of the spot calls. But if not, we'll keep moving on. There's a lot to cover, a lot of cool stuff to do.
Max, there's in the chat box. There's Junior's. His adjective was ambitious.
Ooh, okay.
He said he's gonna turn his geothermal room into a workout room.
Nice.
And his accomplishment was joining the SGA.
Sweet.
And then I have Janelli here. She says her adjective is considerate. Her geothermal room is going to be a spa to relax. And her achievement is going to get her associate's degree from Hostos.
Beautiful. And I see Afnan just posted, yeah?
Afnan, her adjective is stressful because it's the end of the semester. Her achievement is that she's adapted to distance education. And her space would be a quiet room with music.
Nice. And we just got one final hand to wrap us up before the next section. Marliato. Please correct me if I'm butchering your name. I'm sorry.
It's good. It's good. Yeah. Hi. So one adjective to describe myself, I would say resilient. And one room I would like is like a quiet room, like where I can meditate and be away from, the kids and stuff, because this quarantine have been like something. And then what else do we have? Oh, one achievement I would say I have learned a lot about myself, and like I have learned American culture, like how to better live here and adapt. Yeah, I would say that.
Wow, it's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I really appreciate the way you said that you've learned to adapt in this quarantine. I think that's a tremendous perspective to bring into the space. Wow, thank you for sharing that. So what I'm going to do right now is share screens with you guys, so that we can. Thank you, Jason. Oh, I saw that. That's Afnan. Yes. Okay, and there's a Chris. Chris just came in. Okay, perfect. All right. So I'm gonna share screens with you guys.
Max, I can handle the in and out, so you don't have to worry about that.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Jason. So here we go. And now we are here. And I'd like to share this with you guys, and I'm gonna send this to all you guys via email so you guys can have it. There are some things that you guys will be able to work on moving forward, but the structure of this workshop is going to be in 3 pieces. 1, learning how do we think, as prefaced by you have a geothermal room in your house. What are you gonna do? Carlos said, my room is pretty fine right now. It feels nice and warm. I don't need to change anything about my room. And Isabel shared with us about some of the things that she was going to do with hers, right? And she would have a lot of plants because she's already grown cilantro and tomatoes and lettuce already with her kids, right? Afnan is also putting in some extra things that we're learning about people who want to do spas, people who want to just do hangout areas, some people want to do gyms. And really, when we create these prefaces, right, these first steps, we are beginning to activate our limbic mind. We are beginning to identify what things do I think are going to feel good in my body and what things might feel good that I want to experience. So the most important way for us to start bio-legacy in the story of our elements is to understand how we think. Now, before you read any of the words on this sheet or on this page, what do you draw from the photographs on the left side? And I'm going to call on you guys randomly and just ask you, what do you think these photographs mean? What do they look like? Let's start off with Henry Edwards. What do you think this or these photographs look like? What do they look? What are you feeling from them? Henry, if you're there. Henry going twice.
Okay.
Oh, Carlos, yes, please. What do you think those photographs? What are your reactions from these photographs?
All right. Okay, I see a lot of prayer. There's a lot of hope. There's a lot of hope in there. Folks are not giving up. They're just hanging in. They're just hanging in there. That's what we got to do. I see that.
Nice, just hanging in there. Nice,
There you
absolutely.
go. You're hanging in there, exactly.
All right.
Staying in there.
Okay, I'm seeing the chat box active now. Worries, Denise, desolation. Afnan says confused. Let's see. Let's hear from Janelli or Norma, maybe Charles. What do you guys think? Go ahead, Charles.
Well, I will say they look mentally depressed.
Okay, depression. Lamb says shocked. Norma says worries. Wow. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Solitude, right? So what I want to introduce to you guys is that a lot of people are going to come out of quarantine in different ways. Some people are going to come out really excited. Some people are going to come out not so excited. And what I wanted to begin or start us off with is really a narrative, right, that I'm going to read to you guys, right? And after I read this narrative, I'd like for us to break out into small groups and share a story about reflecting on quarantine. So this story comes from an Ether Maba, right? And Ether says, I know a lot of people are on edge because the current COVID-19 crisis going on globally and the alarming rates at which the cases are increasing. But one way that we have been advised to flatten the curve is social distancing. This is aimed to result in a controlled reduction of the cases by limiting our level of social interaction. However, this has proved to be a challenge, especially for young people who live by the phrases, live your best life, and you only live once, YOLO, who still move about and act oblivious to the warnings of health organizations and the government. But I hope that by the time people are done reading this, we will better understand the need to practice social distancing. As young people, the tendency to be rebellious is almost inevitable. Some feel it more than others, but it's still a feeling that is very present to us because we want to make the most of our youth, even if it means breaking a few rules to do so. However, when the rules are made to protect us from ourselves, we need to ask ourselves whether rebellion is worth it. Social distancing is a strong recommended method on effectively handling COVID-19 by reducing exposure to each other and the environment. This is because the virus is transferred through droplets, sweat, saliva, etc., and can be easily spread by people who cough, sneeze, or by touching the surface that has been contaminated. And since no one really knows where people have been, it's better to be safe than sorry by staying and protecting yourselves and the people you care about. But some young people see this as a grown-ups trying to stop them from having fun. And there are other methods of avoiding the virus, such as keeping your hands sanitized, washing your hands for at least 20 seconds, coughing in your elbow, not touching your face. But these other methods can only go so far, especially for those who have already been infected, which is why we need to take those extra measures to ensure that we are not at risk of catching the virus. Personally, I've been practicing social distancing as best I can, even though it's not the most fun thing in the world, but finding ways to make things interesting is actually the fun part. As annoying as it might be sometimes, I know who I am by practicing social distancing. I'm helping my family, my friends, and the people in the community I live in. In some way, I'm also helping the world by reducing the statistics. And at the end of the day, the sooner this goes away, the sooner we can return to our normal lives and appreciate the world a lot more. Thank you, Esther. Thank you, Esther. Let me just check the chat box. Yes, awesome. We're getting some more responses. Marliatu said, I was going to say depressed too. Junior says, rebellion only comes due to perspective overbearance. Wow, it's a beautiful way of saying that. And what we're going to move into right now is smaller breakout groups, 3 to 4 people, and we're going to just share for 5 to 10 minutes. What are your reflections from Elba's experience? Right, Elba was speaking about some of the things that all of us have encountered. I mean, I know the song, I'm living my best life. We're not going to say the lyrics, but we definitely know the you only live once phrase that's pretty popular nowadays in the social context. So when we go into these breakout rooms, 5 to 10 minutes, everybody please have some time with the microphone. How have you had to adapt during quarantine? And what has quarantine made you think? What or how has quarantine made you think? You're going to see them broadcasted in the breakout rooms. So let's just add in the last couple of people. We are going to recreate these rooms. We have 26 people. So we'll have 5 rooms, 6 rooms recreated. Okay. All rooms are open. Please watch the broadcasts. You're going to see all right, we got a couple of more people in. So we had some stirring of the pot with with the thoughts. What were some of the things that came out for you guys from your group-led questions? Anybody want to share some of what their groups were saying or how they were feeling?
I would say that my group was a bit, optimistic of the upcoming summer, like, once we head back to normality.
Any other groups? Any other groups? How was that thinking experience, hearing other people's thoughts?
And my group is like, we see the hope. We hope the 2022 will be different. Yeah, and also we share the vaccinations. We was sharing who was the person who take the vaccination, Pfizer, Moderna, something like that. It was great, thank you.
Nice, nice. So you guys even went further into who's vaccinated and what vaccinations did they choose to? Chris mentioned in the chat group that he's going to be working and training as a certified hope aide and keeping him in prayer. Absolutely, definitely. Any other groups want to share what was that process like, hearing other people thinking or their thought processes during quarantine? Anybody had any innovative ideas? Any things that you guys got to create or found creative? Yes, Marliato.
Oh, I was with Isabel Neira, and honestly, she was the only one that was vaccinated yet. And like, I'm gonna say, hearing their stories, you feel like hope, that you were not the only one that experienced like the COVID in 2020. It was hard for everyone. And then to see that everyone has hope for the upcoming year, like, that it's coming to an end.
Absolutely, definitely feeling hopeful.
Yeah.
Any of the groups not represented yet that want to give voice to some of the ways they've been thinking about this quarantine experience?
I mean, the good news is, to Montefiore, I found out, I was found out that to be examined and I was immunized. I said, oh, wow, it's really, so you're doing everything correctly. That's all the story, but that's great news. So just keep the mask on, you do what and you be as patient as possibly can. That's what I'm able to do. Wow.
Yeah, we have to do the best with what we have. Carlos, you're absolutely right.
I would like to share. My group went already. Joshua and I were in the same group, and Denise, and we had one more person in our group.
It was Chris.
Chris Sambula, yes. Thank you. Something that came up for me was that when we talked about the rules not being up there anymore, Denise said, was talking about the new normal, and I was saying I don't want to go back to normal. I'm not interested in going back, and so I was thinking, how can we imagine the future? And what it made me think about was your check-in question about that geothermal room. What's that geothermal world look like for us, if we're designing it? I want a new world for my son. I don't want to go back to where we were. So that's.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. Wanting a new world, and what does that new world look like? And I'm really happy. Thank you, Namibia, for including that. Because and yes, I'm taking some notes while we're talking. I think it was Carlos and and Michelle during their pulse check that they were talking about ways to think of this in a new way. So geothermal, well, I don't know, my room is pretty good right now, or Michelle introducing, oh, it would be perfect for this temperature, spa or yoga, and also had something to in similarity with Afnan, right? So the idea of stress and the idea of excitement are both hormones in our brains. The stress hormone we would know as cortisol. The feeling good hormones, there are a lot of them. There are oxytocins, there are endorphins, there are serotonins, melatonins. And what I want for us to arrive at is dopamine, serotonin. Yes, Ivanov, absolutely, right? And when we start to speak about, or we're using adjectives to describe things, our brain is wired that we can feel them. So if I'm saying right now, I'm stressed, I'm stressed, I'm stressed, I'm stressed, I'm stressed, my face is naturally going to do what with my muscles in my face? That's right, Carlos. Carlos is grabbing his face like, oh my God, this guy's making faces in the middle of a presentation. Absolutely, Carlos. Absolutely. And here's why. Because where you put your attention, like Dr. Dispenza says, is where you put your energy. So if my attention is in stress, stress, finals, finals, stress, stress, what am I going to feel? Thank you, Yavor. Yes, I'm going to feel stressed. Now, if I have my thinking caps on, like Marliatu, if I'm thinking like Marliatu, I'm thinking hope, hope, hope. Wow, there's hope. So many people I'm talking to, and maybe, for example, who was it that said, I think I want to say it was Chris, but Chris was talking about how it may be difficult when you want to get close to someone, right? And if we're thinking like that, then the adjective that we would have, right, that we can put words to would be, I'm apprehensive. Whoa, stay over there. I don't know you. Whereas some of us are saying, wow, I can't wait till after graduation. I can't wait for the COVID to be over. And what I want to share with you guys is that when your thinking changes, your life changes. When your thinking changes, everything in your life can change. And I'm going to give you one example right now. And if you guys look in gallery view, you'll see right now there may be 5 of us with cameras on and maybe 2 of us that are happy. Well, one of us definitely has the best landscape right now. So shout out to Jose immediately. But we are about to move. If you don't have hope, oof, yes, you have nothing. Thank you, Malona. Yes. So we're going to get very hopeful right now. And I'm going to screen share once again. And we're going to go into breakout rooms once again. Oh, hold on. I need sharing privileges once again, please. Yes, Jason definitely has the best landscape. That's true. Chris says, back before COVID-19, I used to like a girl who was a dental hygienist. Man, she was Dominican and she's gone. I'm not sure what she's gone means. Maybe you stop communicating. I'm not sure, but we'll definitely talk about that in the breakout room. What I want to share with you guys right now is we're going to do a short activity, a very short one, and it comes with a challenge. So if you see here, we know how we think. Now we need to understand, how do we play? How do we play? So we are going to be in small groups of 3 to 4, and we will activate our brains globally, drawing on the complementary nature of our divine circuitry. In small groups, your first challenge is to play the most classic game in the world. It's called rock, paper, scissors. The trick is you can only use your left hand. You can only use your left hand, and it's best of 5. Once you guys figure out who wins out of the 4 people in your group, I need one of you to put your hands up and ask for help. In the breakout rooms, you can do that. I'm going to send you guys something very special, live and direct as you go on. Please make sure those rocks are rocks, those papers are papers, and those scissors are scissors. Don't do none of this stuff, okay? Don't do none of this stuff. We know how we used to do it in elementary school, junior high school, college, and even in some of our co-working spaces as professionals. So here we go. Breakout rooms coming in 5. Left hand, 4. Left hand, 3. Ooh, the pressure's coming. It's on. Best of 5. Best of 5. Here we go, guys. We've got a couple of people that were still playing the most epic game of rock, paper, scissors in the world has ever seen. We were even doing it by voice, and specifically exclusively through voice. So that was the honor system. It definitely worked. And there were a number of questions about the second part. Okay, so what I'm going to show you guys is the together piece. And I think we might be running low on time, but obviously, you know, I'll be on well after, in case anybody wants to continue chatting or talking about dominance in the left and right hemisphere, right? So just to answer the most recent questions, which were, we have a winner, what do we do? The what do we do part is an email, and that email, you guys will see this in the email. So let me show it to you guys here and share the screen. Okay, I need host privileges one more time, please. Sorry, guys. I think I have it now. Okay, so I got it now. All right, so here we go. So what we have seen thus far, and this is a quick little recap for us. I know there's a lot to get done, and there's a short amount of time, and a lot of us have these hands that are rock, paper, and scissoring everywhere. So the facilitation challenge is for the winners. So everyone who was rock, paper, scissors and accidentally cracked their iPhone or their screen, I think we only had one, which is good. First time, only one. The winners all receive direct emails with this worksheet, right? And this worksheet is twofold. You get 2 choices as a worksheet, and this is to learn what is the dominance quotient. So some of us say, but I'm a right-handed person. I don't know how to use my left hand. And when I came in that group, I was like, yes, I know you're a right-handed person, but this activity is for your left hand. Why are we doing that? Because we are creating an environment where now we have to think in a different way. This is the same example of giving our pulse check and saying, I'm going to use my geothermal room for plants, for a spa, for yoga, for a gym, just to hang out with my friends. Now we are creating an environment in our brain where our opposite hemisphere has to do the job of the primary. Why are we thinking like this? Because where we bring our attention, our focus, our passions is going to be where we are focusing our energy. And oh man, I'm forgetting his name. Ivanov. It's close. Okay, I'm getting a wave to him. So okay. Please put your name in the chat box one more time so I don't forget it. We have to quote them right. That's right. So like he said, if I'm thinking stress, what am I going to be feeling? Cortisol, right? Or
The stress, you'll act like it.
So what we're doing is we're changing the paradigm in our minds. Yes, bars. If you want me to freestyle, I can do that too, right? So what we are accomplishing is we can play a game with our non-dominant hand and say who is the winner. We've already gotten 4 steps past the general population who's only going to play rock, paper, scissors with their right hand. So now the facilitation, the winners, the people, the gung-ho, rock, paper, scissors, they have a job to do. And that job is to figuring out in your team who's more non-dominant or who's more dominant in terms of how well you use your own body. Not, I don't know what that person's doing, so I'm not going to listen to that person. Or I don't know what this person is doing, so I'm just going to stay by myself. All these quarantine reactions, we can bring them here to a challenge. And saying one of 2 things, you can either play around the world with paper baskets, literally with a garbage can. You take 1 sheet of paper, you cut it into 5 pieces. I have 5 pieces of paper. You're gonna make 5 paper balls. Thank you, Jason. Jason's here like, well, I'm gonna just make paper balls then. That's right. Right, and we're gonna try to shoot them into proverbial oh, I forgot there was some smoothie left in there. Well, paper baskets, okay? And I'm intentionally trying to do things to make you guys laugh at this point. I feel like a balloon animal specialist. Just come on, somebody. All right, so, or the second thing is you can write your full name with your right hand and write your full name with your left hand, right? And these are timed activities. You need things to, yes, Javor, yes, thank you. So, that would have been one of the facilitation exercises, and you guys can do this on your own time, right? So what I want to share with you guys is that some team making or team building activities can help you as an icebreaker, or it can help you analyze the dominance quotient of your body's innate ability to use both sides. So what we would have done in that group activity after you're done figuring out the rock, paper, scissors is figuring out who has a quotient that's the greatest and who has a quotient that's the smallest. That will give you, as just a little foreshadowing, if you guys ever do this on your own, that will give you an idea of who is more or less ambidextrous. Anybody know what ambidextrous means? I'm getting thumbs, and some people look at me.
The ability to use both hands.
Exactly.
No, never heard of it. My first time, never heard of it. My first time.
Muhammad, don't worry, don't worry, Carlos. Muhammad is absolutely right. It's the ability to use both hands. But what does that tell you about your teammate or about your friend who also happens to be a human? That these people can learn how to use more of their total brain power, right? Percentage. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Lucy, Scarlett Johansson, Limitless with Ryan Reynolds. The idea that there are, or there may be in the future, science fiction that helps you develop the ability to utilize more percentage of your brain power. And why we're doing this is exactly here, and this is where we bring it all home, okay? So we started off with reflections on quarantine. How do we think? We challenge our thought process by saying that you now have a geothermal room in your house. We went to, how do you play? We played the most epic game of rock, paper, scissors. Best of 5. We got 5 winners. And out of those winners, some people did it with just their voice. Wow. Vocal, rock, paper, scissors. You've seen it first here. Now, the last piece for us here together is how do we grow together? We know how to think as individuals. We know how to play as individuals. But how do we grow together? And before we hit or talk about this, Jason, I just need to know, heads up, how much time do we have?
Still have about 30 minutes, Max.
Yes! Yes! All right, guys, I'm thinking that we're gonna be ending early. This is even better. We'll go one step further. So before we get to the how do you grow, I just want to squeeze in. I just want to squeeze in the paper baskets, okay? So please, together, everybody take out a piece of paper, okay? Piece of paper. We all do it together ceremonially. Myself and Jason and Yavor did it together, but collectively, we don't leave anyone behind. Take sheets of paper, make 5 paper balls, 5 paper balls, not 3. Not 2, but 5. Thank you, Estelle. I see Estelle is excited to make paper balls. Thank you, Josue, with his bridge and sunset in the background. Thank you to Carlos, who has the freshest, warmest room. Thank you to Brother Lamb, who's like, Professor, I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to clarify for this for me for a second, okay? I need to know what we need to do. You're absolutely right, Lamb. Thank you, Namibia. Thank you, Marliato. Thank you, Afnan. Abdul, I know you're at work right now, but don't worry. You can make the mental paper balls like the guy from Marvel Comics. What was his name? Come on. Caglioso. Come on. Doctor Strange. There you go. Like Doctor Strange. Like, just do it with your mind. We will have 5 paper balls. All right. So when you guys all have your paper balls, please, please, please raise your hand in the participants' view, because I'm going to set the timer for all of us. Let's go. Really quick. Paper balls. Paper balls.
Is this with our non-dominant hand that we'll do this? We have to raise our hand. Thank you.
Here we go. All right. All right. The second thing, if you don't have a garbage pail, grab a cup, a big cup. I'm going to be using a Vitamix blender. All right. Okay. So if everybody's got, let me see the hands. Okay, we got 4 hands. We got 4 out of 22. We're almost passing. Come on, guys. Let's get it. It's finals week. We're trying to get to at least 80, 85%. Please. We got 6. Woo! 6. Come on, guys. Brain power. Brain power. Chris Sambula, you got those paper balls? Henry, we got 7 out of 21. We are almost at 33%, guys. 33%. We got 9 participants, 9 out of 22. We are almost passing. We're about to be at the C letter grade. Come on, guys. 10 participants. We're at 50%, guys. 50%. Come on. Do we have 11? Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Carlos is showing us his paper balls. He's like, listen, you guys, I'm not putting any weights in these paper balls. I'm not going to cheat. 11 out of 21. Let's go, guys. Mentally, yes. Thank you, Chris. Chris said he's going to make them in the mind. My man. Janelli, Henry, Junior, Fatoma, Andre, I'm mentally there too. All right, Junior, we got 2 for the mental teams. We're almost there. We're almost there. Fatuma, Andre, my camera's not cooperating. Don't worry, Andre. Don't make them in your mind. Make them with your hands. We know you can do it. We know you can do it. Don't worry about the camera. Cameras as that comes later. All right. So we are all here. We have almost 12 out of 21. Bridget is in, and we've got 3 for the mental teams. We are officially passing. We have 16. I'm not a math person. I'm sorry. Please, no one check my arithmetic. Jason is in there. He's smiling right now, so I'm assuming my math is wrong, but I'm close enough. We are passing. I'm hoping. Oh my goodness, those Excel sheets. Thank goodness for those formulas. All right, so let's go. So here we go. I'm going to set a timer. Okay. The timer is going to be everybody is going to take these shots together. Okay. And we're going to time how long it took. So I'm going to put the timer up on here. Let's just do it through the phone. And technology hasn't got that far yet. So stopwatch. Okay, and we're gonna shoot together. This is my bucket. This is what I'm shooting into. So I'm gonna try to put this over here. But you guys can see this here. All right. Yes. All right. So non-dominant hand first. So I am not a lefty. I shoot with my right hand. So for this whole activity, I'm gonna shoot with my left hand. Okay. I have 5 paper balls. The timer has started. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Let's go, guys. Let's start shooting. I got 1, 2, 3. When you get all 5 in, look at the time and write your time down. If you haven't gotten it yet, unmute those phones. Come on, guys.
How far was the bean supposed to be? Because I got 5 in, so I don't know. There are no rules for how far.
You got it, Estelle. Just hold that time. Count that time.
Oh, no, I got it in 1 second.
So we do it again. We do it again.
Do we keep going until we get to 5?
You gotta get all 5.
Let's do it again. Let's do it again because I want a long time.
Okay. All right. We'll start over. Carlos, hold on. Carlos, you have to have the most intense look right now shooting those baskets. Carlos, you my new favorite person right now. I'm telling you right now, the intensity. Woo, that was game 4 right there. All right. So that was the first do. So left-handed again. Make sure the basket is at least 5 feet away from you, Estelle.
5 feet.
5 feet.
Oh.
All right. So here we go. This one is 5 feet away from me. 5 baskets, as long as it takes. Look at the timer. When you finish, write your time down. Okay, left hand only. Here we go in 3, 2, Estelle, not yet. Lamb, not yet. Carlos, you are too intense right now. And Malona definitely has something going on over there because she's calculating the angles. In 3, 2, 1. Let's go, guys. Let's go. 5 baskets.
Oh, shoot.
Come on, guys.
None.
Keep
Got
going.
1.
Look at your time when you get it.
Chunky puppies, come on. This is the one for the left. Come on. When?
Keep going, guys. Keep going. Once you're done, write it down.
Done.
35 seconds.
Done. Oh.
Write it down, write it down, write it down if you guys got it. Norma, if you got it, write it down. Afnan, if you got it, write it down. Janira.
I got 3 in 42 seconds.
Keep going. You need all 5. You need 5. Abdul, 5. Keep going. Come on, Chris. Come on, Afnan. Come on, Henry. Norma's not finished yet. Keep going. You lost all the paper balls, Jason. Oh my goodness. Come on, guys. We got a couple of people left. Abdul, we're waiting for you. Those last 2 got to go in.
Yeah, I got the last 2 in.
All right.
But my time is 1 minute and 7 seconds.
All right. Right there in the chat box. Okay. Here we go. Last seconds in 3, 2, 1. Okay. Here we go, guys. So now we're going to collect all of our times and type them in the chat box. Everybody write your time in the chat box immediately. Write them in, write them in, write them in, write them in.
You mean how much? I only got 1 in. So I should write the time in?
No, Malona, you're supposed to keep getting until you got all 5 in.
Oh, so
It's
when they
okay.
drop on the, so I have to pick it up until I get it in?
Yeah, absolutely. You got to pick it up and drop that bucket. Yes, Malona. Yes. Yes.
I didn't pick it up. I was waiting until the game ends.
It's okay. We can repeat it again after. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Everybody write it down. Malona, write down what you got 1 in with that time for that 1 basket.
I think it was 34 seconds.
It's important. Drop it. Put it right in there. Jason found the abyss of paper basketballs. Yes. Yes. All right. We're going to give everybody another 2 minutes. Carlos, we can't see it. What does that say? Four. I'm not sure what 4 means, Carlos, but type it in the chat box. Okay, here we go, guys. So the second part of the activity is now we all collect all of our paper balls, all of them, and we're going to shoot them with our right hand, our dominant hand. Now, everybody, I have to say that Estelle, it's still 5 feet away, okay? Still 5 feet away. That's the distance, okay? That's right, okay? So, so all the paper balls, grab them again. 5. If they fall, pick them up again and shoot it. We're going to get it with our right hands now. Norma said 2 minutes and 59 seconds. It works. Norma, you got it in. That's what matters. All right. Here we go, guys. So I'm going to give everybody 25 seconds to get their paper balls ready. All right, and I'm gonna put a little bit of background music while we do our paper balls. All right, 30 seconds to make the paper balls. Here we go, guys. Got them in your hand. You can shake it.
I wonder, will it take me under? I don't know.
15.
Imagine smoking weed in the street
13,
without cops harassing.
12,
Imagine going to court
11,
with no trial. Lifestyle
10,
cruising blue behind the waters. No welfare supporters.
8,
More conscious of the way
7,
we raise our daughters. Days are shorter, nights are colder. Feeling like life is over. These snakes strike like a cobra. The world's hot, my son got knocked. Evidently, it's elementary. They want us all gone eventually. Trooping out of state for a plate. Knowledge, if coke was cooked without the garbage, we'd all have the top dollars. Imagine everybody flashing, fashion, designer clothes, lacing your click up with diamond rolls. Your people holding dough, no parole.
All right, before I give too much practice for Lam and Estelle, who are already getting ready, let's get the countdown. Here we go. Yeah, guys, we're in it. We're in it together. We are working our brain power together. Yes. Hemispheric dominance. We are learning and opening different ways of thinking and believing. you now have the timer set for 5 buckets. 5 buckets in 3, 2, 2.5. Jason is ready. 1, go, 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 go.
No rubbers, going
Go,
on
guys.
law with no undercovers. Just some thoughts for the mind. I take a glimpse.
Keep picking them up. Keep picking them up. You have to make all 5.
Imagine that.
Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Come on. Dominant hands. Dominant hands.
We both shine. Still living for today in these last days until it'll be paradise.
Come on, Estelle. Come on, Malona.
No section. I'm on the exchange, the range. Cash, lost Travis, your back.
Josue, what happened to the background? He's
Well,
shooting
it's
from the
3
bridge.
minutes.
From the bridge.
Villa houses for the crew, how we do. Trees for breakfast.
Done.
Been stretching so many years of depression. make me
Maliatu.
vision.
Maliatu. Where's Andre? Henry? Janira?
Lies, history's told foul, but I'm as wise as the old owl. Plus the gold child, seeing things like I was controlling. Click rolling, tricking 6 digits on kicks and still holding. Trips to Paris.
Norma Muhammad. Namibia.
Done.
The lavish, political prisoners set free, stress free. No work release, purple and 3s and jet skis. Fill the wind.
Janelle. Chris. Abdul. Fatoma.
Down bound, but every girl I meet to go downtown. I open every cell in Africa, send them to Africa. Imagine that.
Right. And 3, 2, 1, 1, 1. Okay, okay, okay. So here we go, guys. So as you guys can see, wow, we got some good times. Let's unmute all of our microphones. Please unmute all of our microphones. Let's talk a little bit about what that felt like. What did that feel like for all of you guys to be shooting baskets with your non-dominant hand first? And this is open. This is open. Unmute. Just share. Just share.
It felt like I was back in high school when coach was running drills.
Okay.
I loved the sensation of you have to get in the 5 rather than however many of the 5 you get in. It was like thinking positively rather than negatively for some reason. You like, what do you mean I get another opportunity? What? You know, I'm just so accustomed to like what you get, you get.
I got it.
That was a little different for me in thinking.
Nice. Let's get some more shares. How did it feel shooting with your non-dominant hand?
I was
Challenging.
more calmer and more focused with my non-dominant.
Nice, Estelle. Nice. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. It's going to be really important in a second. Somebody else was saying something. Malona.
This was challenging. But I managed to get 2 in.
Yes!
It was different. It was different.
Different. Yes, that's Carlos. Yes. Lamb, how did it feel for you?
I think I feel awkward. I felt awkward when using my with my left hand.
Very
but
much so.
Actually the time between 2 hands is not that much different for me.
Yeah.
Because actually the 6 seconds I got for the right hand because I think I have more practice. But the first time for both hands is quite similar.
Nice. Very nice. Very nice. So Lamb is already going 1 step in. He's already understanding or reconciling what's going on in that brain. Maliato says the fun part was watching you guys do the challenge. Thanks, Maliato.
I don't even do basketball. Never.
That's right.
I don't even do basketball. That's the funny thing about it.
Afnan says challenge.
When it comes to baseball, look out.
Okay. The next one, Carlos, I promise we'll get some kind of baseball incorporated.
There you go.
Afnan said it was fun. Oh, I'm sorry. Afnan says challenge, focused, makes me feel fun and relaxed. Absolutely. Janira says it was fun to do. It was like my brain saying, hey, we're trying this new thing. Yeah, exactly. It was challenging for Norma. So just for you guys, what you guys will see here is that
And 4.
different one. It's this one here. Okay, so to figure out your dominance, right, or how your left brain interacts with your right brain, it's your non-dominant time minus your dominant time divided by your dominant time. So that's a little bit of math. So some of us took, for example, 13 seconds on their non-dominant. They took 6 seconds on their dominant hand. So it's going to be 13 minus 6 divided by 6, right? Which is somewhere around 1.23 and change, right? Which is really close. You don't have to put this number in the chat box, right? You're more so doing the math for yourself. Your non-dominant time, subtract your dominant time, and divide that by your dominant time. Okay? You guys can do that for yourself to better understand how your brain has been working. And the really beautiful thing about this is that you can always get closer and closer and closer and closer to 0. Now, you may never be at 0 where you're perfectly ambidextrous, but this is what is called dexterity of the mind. The more dexterous your mind is, the more resilient you are in your daily activities. Now, we all may say, like Carlos, hey, basketball is not my thing, but once you get to that baseball, professor, you better watch out. That's right. Look, he's doing it. Laser focused. This is the same scenario when we are talking about COVID experiences. Now I'll bring it full circle for us. So we learned how we think as individuals. Our legacy, our biology is our biography. We walk, we're living encyclopedias. Our elders are living libraries of information. And what you guys shared with us here in the chat box, telling us about ways that you would create a home space, one of relaxation, of hot yoga, one of a workout room, one of a spa, one of a place where we can just chill with my friends. And that's how we've been encountering a ideal situation of having a geothermal room. We spoke about how what we've been accomplishing in our quarantine experience. Some of us here are graduating. That is a big deal. Some of us are learning how to make different kinds of interpersonal relationships with technology, and that's a big deal. And some of us are just learning how to social distance and clean their hands, like Sister Elba did in her short about the quarantine experience. We then learned how we played with our non-dominant hands, which is something that all of us may have experienced as a first. It may be a first. And now what we're going to do before we leave, and I think we have about 7 to 10 minutes, is we're going to be in this phase. We're going to step away from the individual and we're going to move into the we. So what I want to ask you guys to write in the chat box is, what is one university challenge for this social paradigm? What is one challenge Hostos Community College is going to have once quarantine is over? What is one challenge that Hostos is going to have as soon as quarantine is over? You guys said in the groups, July 1st, no more rules, baby. Some of us said, oh, I don't know about that. Some of us said, oh, wait a minute. I don't know if that's going to affect how I interact with people. I want to know, what is one challenge that Hostos Community College is going to have July 1st? Nice, Jason. Returning to a place of balance. Nice, Chris. Social distancing. Nice, Yavor. Getting people back on school grounds. Malona, getting back to normal. Come on, let's get some more. Lam, Estelle, Mohammed, Carlos, Janira, Chris, Henry, Norma, Bao Ampondi, Abdul, Andre, Janelli, Afnan. Yes, Lam, convincing students to do in-person learning. Socializing, Estelle. Yes. Readapting, Andre. Yes. No more remote learning, says Chris. Yes. Adapting, Junior. Everyone on college grounds. Awesome. So we're going to pause it here. We're going to pause it here. And oh man, wow, beautiful. Whoever just wrote trust issues, you are the MVP. Jason, oh my goodness. Abdul, challenges of setting a lot of students back to normal school environment. Absolutely. So what I'm gonna ask us to do, libraries, classes, tutoring, gym, leadership academy, absolutely. Leadership academy is critically important. This is how you guys are here. This is what Jason has been putting years of his life in. So you know what? Thank you, Chris, for writing that. We're going to take it one step deeper. We're going to talk about Leadership Academy and how we as a collective community, how can we readapt? How can we readapt? And we're going to use what is called a permaculture design. So in permaculture, this is a school of thought that believes that humans and their environment can work in ecological succession, where human informs nature and nature informs human. So for this example, we're going to take the example of renegotiating, socializing, and the setting is going to be in the Leadership Academy. So what you guys see here, I want you to make a diagram with 4 circles. 4 circles. Just like this. Okay. Yes, it looks like a snowman, but no carrot, no sticks. So in the middle, we're gonna put planning and designing. Okay, so put P and D in the middle. P plus D. The top one you're gonna put an A. The bottom you're gonna put an A, and the other one you're gonna put an I. Analysis, action, and interpretation. Okay, so this is what it looks like. It's the same model you're seeing here. Analysis, P and D, action, and interpretation. Okay, guys? And the focus here, I'm going to type it in the chat box. Very important for us to remember the focus. Okay? Planning and designing. How to readapt to in-person. The setting / environment is the Leadership Academy. All right. So here we go. Once again, this is a permaculture design, observation before action. It's not July 1st, guys. Quarantine is still a thing. So, planning and designing, we're going to plan and design an idea to help us in the Leadership Academy and us as humans, how to readapt in person. Okay? And I'm going to do a small breakout room of 5 minutes. This will be the last thing we do, I promise. I know it's 5:31 right now. If anybody has to leave, please know that we thank you for your presence. what you have put in, what you have shared, everything that has come as a product of this workshop. And we thank you for being here. I'm gonna make these breakout rooms for the last 5 minutes. Please think of one way of how to readapt to in-person for the Leadership Academy and yourselves as humans. Use both brain sides, left and right hemisphere, creative, analytical, all of it. We got 5 exact minutes, 5 exact minutes. The rooms are all open.
Yeah, in the breakout rooms, they have like a 1 minute time frame. That's why.
Yes, the party! All right, all right, all right. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back. And in closing, if you could have some representation from the groups on what were some, if any, of the ideas on how to address an issue that we all said in the chat group that would be challenging, of how do we reacclimate, how do we readapt to being in person? And more specifically, instead of taking the entire university, we're talking about the Leadership Academy. And this is something that's so important for you guys that you conveyed to us, and now we are sharing with each other. So would anybody like to kick us off in closing, what they feel we can do together to improve that in-person acclimation? And again, we're putting the same creative lens that we address the geothermal room in our house, and the same creativity we use in our left hands when we're doing the rock, paper, scissors turned into paper baskets or writing. So please feel free. Javor, what you got?
Me and Milona decided that for people to feel safe and not be paranoid who's gonna die from what, they should go hit the gym, eat healthier, take care of their bodies. Milona said something good: don't eat to live, live to eat, or the opposite, meaning like don't just put junk in your body. Maybe your body knows what to do with the virus if you're not obese, have comorbidities and stuff like that. Just take care of you, and maybe you're not gonna be stressful like, am I gonna die tomorrow or not?
Nice. Thank you for also diverting our attention from stress to actually messing with it, playing with these ideas, right? Yeah, thank you.
I mean, like for me, just to be, we were trying to be realistic. First of all, we're like, okay, we don't know, ideas where to bring the student back. We have to realize that everybody is not feeling the same way with this thing. Everybody perception is different, the beliefs and whatnot, and the fear is real. So we were like, maybe we can start to by reconfiguring the space. Remember, not everyone is going to be there out like crowded, so we're going to have to deal with the environment first to see how many people it can accommodate, and to make everyone feel safe when they go there. Maybe we start with that as a first step. I don't know.
That sounds great. Estelle. That sounds like, I don't know if any student groups are like subcommittees for environment and calibration of space, but Jason, there might be an architect there ready to bring those informations out. Yes, let's keep it going. Go ahead, Lamb. We just saw your square went green. Talk to us.
Okay. our group think that we can do something with the leadership academy, for example, or class like hybrid, which sometimes we can take online in like meeting, or sometimes we can meet in person. It depends. But we were very enjoyed now with online learning because we say we can save a lot of time, you know, to travel. Maybe some people will travel 1 hour to go to school. So we really enjoy the time of conveniences of online learning. So we don't, I think the online learning and online meeting is here to stay.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. That sounds like a really great idea. And Lamb Jr., I think he was also in your group. He just posted in the chat group. Remember, he was talking about him being a part of the SGA. But he left his email and his Discord as well, which is also a communication server that he can also help bring up any of those problems or challenges to the SGA. So thank you, Junior, if you ever see this recording. And thank you, Lamb. That was a really great recommendation. Henry, I think Henry Square was also green for a second. And I'm gonna make sure not to forget Malona again and Namibia as well before we close out. Henry going once, going twice, sold. Malona.
Yes.
Oh, just seeing if you had anything else you wanted to add on to Javor's when he was talking about your group.
Well, as we say, we're talking about that you have two different groups right now in society. You're going to have the herd immunity, and you're going to have those who are not vaccinated. So we, the unvaccinated ones, have to wear the mask. He said that in his profession, he has to wear a mask at all times because he's a dental hygienist. So he has to wear a mask at all times. But I don't think you should be forced to be vaccinated if you are not ready to be vaccinated.
Very true. But if we can steer it toward what can we do to adapt to in-person a little bit better?
Well, adapt to in-person is gonna be challenging, very challenging to get back to it because I did not like doing classes online. Still don't like, but it's kind of convenient because you get to do the classes in your own time. So now going back to in-person class, for persons who have a family and know that you got to drop the baby off at the babysitter, you have to have somebody home to take, and you got to have a 6 o'clock class. And while at that 6 o'clock class, you used to be home with that child. And while you're in class, you probably have the dinner cooking or something, because, you have your camera off. Can't tell what you're still focusing on your class. You have your phone with you, you have your cameras doing your thing and everything. So in-person class, that's not gonna happen.
It's gonna be challenging nonetheless. And definitely a challenge we're all gonna be encountering. In closing, and I know we're a bit over time. I don't want to go far past the 15 minutes of the 5:30, but I'm getting some of the winks and some of the too much basketball in a day. But listen, we bring the basketball courts back. Just wanted to say to everybody in closing that I want to thank you all for being here and for having me here. And in this short amount of time, what I was hoping to help create or help elicit is a healthy mirror to understanding how you think with spontaneity, how you play with the joy of being a child again, and directions of how you can grow, programming your cerebral cortex, your left and right hemisphere, engaging the amygdala responses, the parasympathetic and sympathetic relationships that govern our lives. Know that there are a lot more feel-good hormones than there are feel stressful. Sending you guys so much love, Seneko Kakona, in my language, which means abundant blessings to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Guazabara. Thank you for coming and visiting with us. Really appreciate you being here. I think we had a great time. Explored a lot of new things and new ideas. And we have a lot to think about as we move forward. I mean, the challenges are still ahead of us. And because we're leaders in our community, especially at the college, we have a role to play in how do we make everything function effectively for us as we do the things that we do and for everybody else that we try to support. So let's give a virtual round of applause. Thank you. Thank you all for sticking it out late. Namibia, it was great to have you here, and the baby too. As you know, as I say every Friday, I love to see you guys. This is coming home. And whether we do this virtually and in person in the fall or like spring or however long it takes, when I get to see your faces, it really makes me feel like, I'm still connected and the world is still spinning and there's still the possibility of doing extraordinary things like we always do. So I want to thank you for making that possible. We have a ceremony coming up in a couple weeks. If you haven't registered for the ceremony, please do. We are definitely going to pass the torch. We're going to record most of the ceremony, but we're definitely going to do the torch lighting together. Please be there. Certificates are going to come to you virtually, electronically, and the awards I'm working on. We're going to figure out how to get it there. And that reminds me, Namibia and Guazabara, please send me your mailing address so I can send you guys your gift from the SLA. That being said, enjoy the weekend. Stay comfortable. If you can't go outside, try to create your geothermal room and go in there and relax. And I look forward to seeing you next week for our final workshop of the semester with our alumni, Rudolph Badinga. And he's really excited to be coming back. So thank you all for being here. Love you all. And
Bye.
Thank
you. Thank you, Rivera.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, Jay. Thanks for everything. I'll see you
Bye,
next
Carlos.
Friday.
Bye,
Let's
Afnan.
go.
Bye, Indira. Bye,
Okay,
Janelle.
documents,
Bye,
Joe.
Bye, Marliatu. Bye, Chris. Bye, Buampandi. Bye, Afnan.
Bye.
Bye,
Thank you, Jay.
Henry.
I see you one too.
Bye,
Appreciate
Yavor.
it.
Bye,
As
Malona.
always.
And Guazabara. Peace. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Talk to you soon.